On today's JMO with Josh and Joe, we have championship weekend coming up. NFC and AFC championship games are set. I want to just start off by apologizing. We are on a Zoom call, so the quality might not be as good as it usually is. But we talk the divisional round playoffs. Three great games. One, but we kind of expected it. We go through those games. We have a couple of coaching points that we wanted to get to. A couple of coaches are staying. A coach got hired. Some second interviews. We go through all that. We talk about some NBA talk. NBA midseason is kind of my favorite almost. You know, Joe? Because it's everything's rounding out and you're starting to get players to kind of start playing hard, you know? It's getting to that point where some people are breaking away, but there's as we talk about, the West is pretty tight. West is tight, East is kind of top heavy, but the West is tight. And it's starting to ramp up. It's going to be really, really good. We talk a little bit our little too early MVP nominees. There's a coach that got fired midseason. Don't really, especially with this organization. I mean, it's weird, but we go into that, and then we get a little Terry Rozier to Miami talk.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Welcome to JMO with Josh and Joe. It is Tuesday, January 23rd, and Joe, it is championship weekend coming up. The championship games are set. NFC, AFC, Ravens versus Chiefs, and Niners versus Lions. I'm pumped. This is pretty much what we were asking for. Dude, they had 3 of the 4 games were absolutely amazing. The Texans-Ravens game was a little bit... It was good in the first half. Second half, not great. Not great at all. Let's see. I mean, let's just dive right into the Ravens game. That Lamar Jackson is a fucking monster, dude. He's a fucking tank.
How many teams do you think are regretting their decision on not trying to get Lamar Jackson a contract with that restricted free agent deal?
Yeah. I think he wanted to stay with the Ravens, so they had they had dibs, for lack of better words, but it was, yeah, he's every bit worth that. He makes up for it with his legs. He's not the greatest thrower, but he did look good throwing the ball against the Texans defense. They started off slow, but that's you kind of expected that. The 49ers kind of started slow too. It's just I don't think the Ravens starters haven't played in 3 weeks. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a slow start.
That's what my notes were as well. Both of those teams, the number 1 seeds, kind of go into a lull, which is actually it's almost like a disadvantage in some sense. Obviously it's an advantage that you take a week off, you don't get hurt, you don't have a chance to lose. But at the same time, it's almost like it reminds me of March Madness, where the first 4 that are, first 4 games that are the play-in games, they almost get an advantage because they get a warm-up game. They kind of get themselves into playoff mode, and are able to kind of, I guess, get the rust off per se, going into the playoffs.
They get in a rhythm. They go on a roll.
Yep.
I agree. I just think that the Ravens are just too good. The Ravens are too good. I think they're going to win. I'm picking them. I mean, this isn't like breaking news or anything, but I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think any of the 3 remaining teams can beat them. I think the team with the best chance to beat them, they're going to play this weekend. And Lord, dude, Mahomes, he still has nobody to throw to. We'll get to that game, but other than Kelsey and Rice, there's not much. I know MVS had a couple of good catches, but Dude, I think the Ravens are just going to dominate. I don't think there's really anybody that can stop them. At least their defense is good enough to keep them in any game, and I think Lamar Jackson will be fine, and he will be able to get them enough points to win. Plain and simple.
Yeah, this isn't the same Chiefs team that we've typically seen in the past, but they're kind of like the new Patriots, where it's like you can't count them out though either.
Never, no. And like I said, we'll get to the Chiefs Bills game, but good. Here's the thing: the Texans, good year for the Texans. There's nothing to hang your head about. You have a future basically in C.J. Stroud. DeMeco Ryan seems like he's got the team, he's got the locker room. Their defense is actually not terrible, and C.J. Stroud is really good. So like, him and Nico Collins, that connection's going to be awesome. Like they're young, they're a good young team. I think the future looks bright. Like so, this is even though they lost, it's kind of a W of a year for Texans fans. Like I said last week, I think I want to see them in their second year. I want to see if they go through a sophomore slump, like we've seen a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of teams do with young players, especially like rookie head coaches and rookie quarterbacks. Just because there's actual tape now. These defenses, you saw in the Ravens game, the defense for the Ravens, their adjustments are absolutely insane. Like they didn't score a single point in the second half. The Texans did. It's wild how well the defenses play in when they have time to adjust in some film.
And technically, there was no offensive touchdown, believe it or not, by the Texans. It was that touchdown was scored by Steven Sims on that punt return for a touchdown.
Correct. So yeah, I mean, they just allowed a field goal essentially. That Ravens defense, man, it's just like the Ravens way. It was instilled obviously with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Suggs, that whole fucking crew. And then they just kind of continued it. Patrick Queen's kind of like being the ringleader. Marlon Humphreys, when he's not hurt, he's just nasty. They got dogs. They got dogs on that defense. But so yeah, Texans kind of ran into basically a giant brick wall that is the Ravens defense. It wasn't, like I said, this was the one game that wasn't great. But that's really all I got on this.
The clock struck midnight. The clock struck midnight for the Cinderella team. I mean, it's a nice story. Clock struck midnight, right about halftime on this game.
Yeah, halftime. Turned into a pumpkin.
Yeah, and if you're the Texans, you can't miss that field goal at the second half. Points are hard to come by, or second quarter. Points are hard to come by. Fairburn, better kicker than that. You got to get those points.
And dude, it's basically, it was kind of the story, the weekend of missed field goal kicks, dude. We'll get to the ones later in the games, but there were some like crucial missed field goals this weekend. But yeah, you got anything else on this one?
No, if you wanna see how much pressure there is in the playoffs, just point to field goal kickers this weekend.
Just ask them, huh? Justin Tucker had a nice long field goal. He's still on point, so we got that. He's the best kicker I think he's the best kicker of all time. Like I know Adam Vinatieri's had his he's got his kick or his clutch kicks and everything, but I think overall Justin Tucker is the best. Let's get to the Packers-Niners. Great game. Awesome game. You saw Brock Purdy. He kind of forgot how to play football the first three quarters. I don't know if it was just a rest versus rust thing. If he was nervous. I don't know. But Brock Purdy, like, it worries me now. Like, I think I might bet on the Detroit Lions. Now, with that said, I think Debo might be out. But good Lord. Kittle, McCaffrey, like they got dogs everywhere. They keep Juwan Jennings played well. Like Brandon Ayuk had a couple of catches. They just they got guys everywhere. So it's hard, and then especially with that, I think that defense is finally coming around. No, I'm no disrespect to the Packers, because they played very well. Great year. This is the same thing with same thing as the Texans. Nothing to hang your head about, because you did absolutely amazing in a rebuilding year.
Yeah, no. Kind of the same thing I had with this as far as the Ravens and the 49ers both experiencing lulls, but the 49ers almost didn't wake up.
Right.
Almost didn't wake up on this one. And but it's the one thing I was kind of noticing on this game, I was just watching like both teams how they operate on offense, and they were just doing like identical play calling. And obviously that's because Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur comes from the Kyle Shanahan tree. And gosh, man, it just looked like they were doing the exact same plays every single time.
They really did.
Yeah.
And this, like we alluded to earlier, this one, a big momentum shift was when the Packers kicker, Carlson, missed that field goal towards the end of the game, and the 49ers just drove it right down their throats. Like it was like a 60, 70-yard drive, and they marched down the field and put it in the end zone. Like that was, I mean, you think about it, if he makes that field goal, it's a completely different game. Like obviously it'll be tied 24-24 at the end, if everything works out that way. But yeah, it's a momentum shift. They missed the field goal. San Francisco marches down, scores right away. It's crazy. McCaffrey had a great game. Lord, he's the savior. Definitely a savior. Kittle played out of his mind, like I said. Huh?
I got to give props to Purdy. I've got to give a little props to Purdy. Yeah, I get it. He was rusty and such, and I know people knock on him all the time because he's in a loaded offense and they say, oh, you just need a dink and dunk type of thing. No, when you go back and watch this game, that man just stands in the pocket. And there's not very many QBs, especially nowadays, and that's kind of a testament to running QBs, but there's not many QBs that will just stand in that pocket and deliver a pass. And
right.
He throws like risky passes. He gives the wide receivers like an actual chance to make a play on the ball. So, and then end up with a game-winning drive this time. He had a little sneaky speed there for that first down run right by the in the red zone. But yeah.
He did. Like we said, he woke up in the fourth quarter. The Niners kind of woke up in the fourth quarter. It was really scary. What's his face made that interception and just didn't go down. I forget what the San Francisco
Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, he just didn't go down. Like you catch the ball and you go down in that situation. He was like running. He ran like I'd say 30 to 40 yards. I mean, like obviously not laterally, or not up and down the field, but laterally, and like he just kept running. And I was just like, go down. What are you doing? Like if you fumble that ball, you give like the Green Bay gets it right back, and they could possibly march down the field and kick a field goal if not get a touchdown. Greenlaw needs to learn how to go down. Go down.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this was a fantastic game. Like I said, next week I don't think Deebo Samuel's going to play. I think he is injured, which is going to hurt. I think he's a big play guy. And the Lions defense, again, we'll get to the Lions Bucks next, but that Lions defense, it looked pretty good. Baker Mayfield was kind of running for his life for most of that game. But yeah, dude, Packers are gonna be great next year. Jordan Love, again, just throwing off his back foot. I don't know how you get so talented at throwing off your back foot, but he's just so good at it. I don't know. Don't mess with that. Like most of the time, coaches are going to try and change that and correct it. Don't do it. Don't mess with that.
Yeah, he's definitely picked that up from Aaron Rodgers, and he needs to stay more on the Aaron Rodgers play style rather than the Patrick Mahomes, kind of like what he did on that last drive. I don't know what he's thinking about doing, or what he's thinking doing a cross-body throw like that, which obviously led to the last interception, a game-winning interception. He needs to stick to being like Aaron Rodgers, like he's been all season, not Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is a very, very hard person to emulate. He's just an athletic freak. He might be the next Tom Brady. We'll talk about that later. Last two things I had: Aaron Jones, monster still in his 7th season, going into his 8th season, monster. He still runs really, really hard. And the Jaden Reed, Jordan Love connection is going to be unbelievable next year. I think that both of them are just going to they're going to be fantasy gold mines next year. Jaden Reed's going to be like kind of a sleeper pick.
I think it's going to be I think he's going to be the Debo Samuel of the Packers offense,
I
since
like
these
that.
are just identical offenses.
Right. And Jaden Reed's kind of big. He's fast. He's a little bit like Debo. But yeah, this is a great game. Love to see it. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right, Lions Bucks. Bro, Lions to the championship for first time over 30-something years, whatever. We've been talking about it. I want to talk about how they just kind of feel like they're a team of destiny almost. Like it's just like it's all coming together. Dan Campbell on the 0-16 team, just basically a unique coaching style. More like not really unique, I'd say old school coaching style. Just coming in, being the MCDC is what they call him. Like it's awesome. He gets the guys pumped up. He's won the locker room. Like he's just coaching with that old school coaching style that honestly I kind of love. They just look good. They look good.
I like the fact that, and this is kind of what I've seen from this team. It almost seems like he put together like a band of like people that have been doubted, people with like a chip on their shoulder, because like you check like up and down that roster, the coaching staff and everything, like Dan Campbell, I mean, honestly, was kind of, I don't know, like laughed at whenever he was hired.
They were. I'm seeing posts now of people 3 years ago saying how he's a bust. How like there's so many other coaches out there that should have been hired before him. Like now they're all eating their words because he's in 3 years he's completely turned this program around and he's going for an NFC championship game. Like and these players love him. They're playing for him.
And then I'm convinced that Jared Goff was included specifically in the Matthew Stafford deal because they were trying to get rid of him, and Dan Campbell was probably like, "Oh yeah, he's going to be motivated now. He's the type of player I want on my team." And then you can point to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Obviously he keeps that list of all the wide receivers that was drafted before him. I'm pretty convinced Lions purposely did that.
Yeah,
and then the Campbell was flexing his rookies, which I'm sure he waited until this game to show like all of his rookies, like, hey, look at the grades that we got for drafting you at this point in the draft. Like
Jahmyr Gibbs,
they were shitting on you. Yes,
Jahmyr
they were
Gibbs.
shitting on y'all. And look what we, go show them what we can do. Like, so I'm convinced he's just compiling a team of just people that have been doubted on and have that chip on their shoulder to assemble an Avengers roster.
Yeah, dude, Jahmyr Gibbs is a fucking monster, man. Like I don't. They used Montgomery most of the year, but I think like if Gibbs doesn't get like at least 60 to 70% of the carries next year, I think that's bad coaching because like Jahmyr Gibbs is just so good all over the place, everywhere. He can be used in the passing game, running game. Like he opens up the field. And then like he actually can block. He's a decent blocker too. Like he does it all. It's unreal. You can keep Montgomery, as punch it in the end zone type of guy, but like Jahmyr Gibbs, man, fucking awesome. The Buccaneers. I want to talk a little bit about the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, for how often he was getting pressured, played really well. Mike Evans is still that guy. Like, holy fuck. those catches, a couple of those catches that he was making were just absolutely like like they're 1% of the population of the world could have made one of that. That catch by the goal line was just absolutely, it dumbfounded me. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to react. But yeah, dude, this game was great. It towards the end, it got a little closer than what it actually was, because I think you'd consider that garbage time minute or garbage time points. I don't. Why did the Bucks go for 2 on that second to last touchdown?
I don't know. That was one of two decisions that I was kind of perplexed about. I didn't see a need for it.
No.
Obviously, I think they were trying to go for the win and then, but still have an opportunity to still tie it. But from a morale standpoint, I think that's just a little bit demoralizing, because it's like, instead of it just a touchdown to tie the game, it's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game.
Yeah, that's a dumb play by Todd Bowles. You go for the field goal, and then you try and, because they got the ball back. I mean, Baker Mayfield, he threw an interception, but he was getting pressured. But yeah, you're right. It's a morale thing. Like, not only did they have to score a touchdown, but they had to get a 2-point conversion just to tie.
Yep.
If you want, kick the extra point so you get a touchdown, and then you have the option. You can either tie it or go for 2 and win the game. It's a dumb play. I don't understand. Amon-Ra, yeah, we said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best receivers in the fucking game. That's not even close.
Did you notice the little petty thing he did during the game?
No.
So on that last touchdown that he scored on, he actually did the Baker Mayfield dance whenever the Browns were on Hard Knocks and Mayfield was a quarterback. It was a dance he was doing for the crowd, and he imitated that dance for making fun of Mayfield. I have to say, props on that one. That's called like studying film.
Dude,
that's called studying film right there. He did his research. If I'm Coach Campbell, like, I'm just like trying to get this guy even more catches. I know he's like the focal point of the offense. Like, give him even more catches. That's a guy who is in the film room studying. Props to St. Brown.
Yeah, dude, it was just kind of surprising. I didn't expect for Tampa to be in this situation to begin with, but I mean, the Eagles, the biggest collapse. We'll talk about Sirianni later. But the biggest collapse of all time. They were actually in this game until like late, and then Detroit kind of pulled away. But they still had some guys from that Super Bowl team.
Yes, and actually, I don't know if you caught it, but a lot of people are talking online about the decision not to take a timeout by Todd Bowles. With 35 seconds left, they kneeled the ball. So Jared Goff and the Lions kneeled the ball, and it still would have been like a long 40, maybe a short 50-yard field goal in order to make it. And he had one timeout left, and he didn't take it on after they kneeled on 3rd and 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I honestly, if I'm a player, I'm going to view that as a head coach quitting on me.
Yeah, no, he gave up. He gave up for sure. I don't think Todd Bowles is a good coach. I don't think we ever thought that. He was just a good filling guy. Dude, if they don't get rid of Todd Bowles, like, he's gonna keep doing this stupid bonehead shit. It does seem like he quit. Like, it really does. Because, like you said, like, I mean, that's no gimme of a field goal. And the way the playoffs have been going, everybody's missing fucking field goals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Just at least look. I mean, regardless of what the outcome comes up, like, at least know, like, or show you have belief in your team. Like, I want to give this team every bit of chance to win this game.
Right.
And I'm going to do everything that I can. I mean, where are you taking that time out? You're not taking it to next season.
Yeah.
You're not taking it to Cancun.
No, you
Like,
can't.
where's that timeout going?
It's not like you can bring it to Cancun and be like, "Hey, can I get a drink package for this timeout?"
Yeah.
Although that would be kind of cool. Yeah, dude, this game was awesome. I don't know what they're gonna do with the what Mike Evans is at his at the end of his contract, right? I mean, he still got it. He was 8 catches, 147 yards, and a touchdown. And like we said earlier, he had some fucking phenomenal catches. They were just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think he might be in a contract year. I could be wrong, but
it's either this is the last year or next year is the last year. I believe it's this year, but they got to keep that guy around if they want to like run it back next year. I don't know. What are they going to do with Baker? It's the Buccaneers next year. I mean, I don't really have any room to talk because the Saints are looking like they're going to run it back again next year, which I don't make. That doesn't make any sense to me. You've already seen it. It doesn't work. Why try it again? Like they're insane.
Nope.
They're literally insane. But you got anything else in this game?
No, that was about the last thing I had.
Cool.
Good game.
Good game. Chiefs versus Bills. This game, I mean, we say it all the time. It needs to be played in the playoffs every single year. It's just like it doesn't matter if one of the teams doesn't make it to the playoffs or whatever. It just needs to be played every fucking year because it's an instant classic every time they fucking play. And I just wanted to say we were right. I was right at least. Never bet against Mahomes.
Never bet against Mahomes.
Never bet against Mahomes. Dude, if you look at the stats, nothing is eye-popping. Nothing is eye-popping when you look at everybody's stats. They just get it done. He just finds a way to get it fucking done. I don't understand it. It's their 6th straight AFC Championship game. 6 straight.
That's crazy.
Mahomes has basically never not been to the AFC Championship game. Like, besides his first year in the league, which doesn't really count, he's never not been. Like, he's just, as a starter, he's been into every single AFC Championship game. Must be nice.
It's got to be a pretty nice life.
Yeah. Let's see. One thing I wanted to say. So, MVS had 2 really good catches. Kelsey and Rice both kind of, they kind of led the way with the receiving. They got nobody else. Mecole Hardman almost lost the game for him. Like I know he was horrible. Pacheco runs really well. They had a couple of really good runs from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but this was all just basically Patrick Mahomes making plays and getting it done. They lost guys on the defensive side. Like they're fucking good. They're just I don't know. It's like, is Mahomes the new Brady? Mahomes is kind of the new Brady, right? Like, I'd say Josh Allen's probably like Peyton Manning or something like that.
Yeah, I would have to say so. As far as the way the results happen into the playoffs, right now Josh Allen is 3-1 against the Chiefs whenever it's during the regular season, but he's 0-3 whenever it's in the playoffs. So, yeah,
it's the playoffs.
You know what? Maybe it's just the strategy of the Chiefs. You know, they lose to them during the season, so then they can just beat them during the playoffs and have that chip on his shoulder.
But dude, it's just actually I'd say Josh Allen's more like Big Ben, but he's so fucking good. I don't know. Is it McDermott? What do the Bills do here? Like they had a freaking team. Like Shakir's awesome, Kincaid's awesome. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs. I mean, I don't know about Stephon Diggs. I'm kind of out on Stephon Diggs now.
No.
Like he was really good. He was electric, but I'm out.
If you're Stephon Diggs, you have to play like Mike Evans did last game.
Correct.
I mean, and the thing is, he had a deep ball, and literally, I mean, obviously the coverage was tight, but the ball just went through his hands, and that was a 70-yard bomb by Josh Allen. Think about the momentum that would have created. If you're wide receiver 1, you got to make that catch.
If you claim to be, you're one of the top receivers in the nation, yes, you have to do that.
Yes.
I think the Bills should move on from him. That might be the answer. I mean, people were talking about firing McDermott, but I think just get rid of Stephon Diggs. I think he's toxic.
He needs to. Yeah, they need to either get rid of him or Josh Allen and him need to make amends because back when they were best friends, when the first year he got signed on by the Bills, they were just the best of the best. But I don't know what happened if someone slept with somebody's girlfriend or something like that. Something needs to get amended.
I think so.
And they need to be best friends again.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, Travis Kelce came out of the woodwork. I think Taylor Swift said that she would do ass stuff if he had 2 touchdowns and a bunch of yards.
Yep.
Because
he did do the heart symbol after the touchdown, so there was some sort of promise made.
Yes. There was she definitely there was incentives. I believe there were sexual incentives. I don't think he would have put up the heart. Yeah. Best way to the heart is through the ass. Yep. I think that's what it.
But props to the other Kelce for realizing this and stealing the show.
Oh God! Look, I'm okay with I know people are getting annoyed with the cameras going to Taylor Swift. Dude, honestly, the solution: just put Jason Kelce in the box with Taylor every time, and it's all good.
Yes,
that was iconic, bro.
Yes,
shirt off the whole time, chugging beers, just living his life, loving it. That's the only solution to this Taylor Swift problem that people have.
Well, now we got the best of both worlds. So obviously we had the girls, we're all watching to see Taylor Swift. Now we got the guys that are going to watch Jason Kelce. I think the NFL just needs to keep capitalizing on that.
Yeah, well, yeah. If Travis and Jason Kelce aren't on our TV screens in the next 4 or 5 years, then the NFL, the TV networks fucked up. They fucked up big time. They are must-see TV. They're electric. And you know what? They have the celebrity girlfriend to go with it now. Yeah, dude. Good for the Chiefs. Good for the Chiefs. This is if you're a Chiefs fan, it's just this is. It's almost dude, I can't do anything but likened it to the Patriots. Remember back in the day, the Patriots, they were so fucking cocky and they were in the playoffs every fucking year. They were just okay, season starts week 1 of the playoffs. This is basically what the Chiefs do now. Their season doesn't really start because you know how the season was kind of up and down for them. No, that's just the preseason. Basically for them, they just play, just because they have to get a certain number of wins to get into the playoffs. The actual season starts week 1 of the playoffs, Super Wildcard Weekend. That's when their season starts. It's insane. I wonder what it's like. It must be nice. 6 straight AFC Championship games. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No,
it's got to be nice. It's got to be nice.
Kind of going with the theme of the weekend, we got to talk about that missed field goal at the end, by Bass. It's tough, especially when your name's your last name's Bass, and you just take off that B, and people make a meme out of it. It's tough.
That is tough, but I will say,
what
you want to go?
No.
So I will say. A lot of the Buffalo Bills fans are, upset at that. I mean, I guess rightfully so. But as we've seen in the other divisional round games, I mean, the pressure's on with these kickers. Right. So, other people might want to point to the fact that they had the fake punt with Damar Hamlin, which kind of made no sense. No. But if the Bills really want to actually point their anger at something that is legit, it should be blaming Jim Nantz for jinxing yet again another kick by quoting Sean McDermott's quote. He was like, "Oh yes, we can always rely on Tyler Bass to come in with a clutch kick." Next thing you know it, he misses the kick a split second later.
Yeah,
okay. The commentating kick jinx is real.
It is. It's absolutely real. I completely agree. That it's tough. I was watching this game in a bar, so I didn't hear the I didn't hear Jim Nantz, but that's interesting. That is interesting. From now on, like if Jim Nantz is commentating one of my games, I just want him to keep his mouth shut during kicks.
Yes.
That's it.
Just give it to Tony Romo. Look, just let him blabber about some stuff about,
he's really good at it too. He just blabbers about nonsense. I do want to say there was a little bit of wind. I think there may have been a little bit of a gust. If you look at the flags on the uprights, they were moving a little bit. That Buffalo weather, you get wind that just kind of comes in because, like, sure, it does look kind of like he sliced it, but also it kind of looks like it could have been a gust of wind that blew it over. So I'm gonna give Tyler Bass and the Bills a little bit of something to kind of blame also, besides Jim Nantz, the wind. Mother Nature.
Okay.
Mother Nature reared her ugly head and just swooshed it. But yeah.
Part of the script.
Again, this is a must-see TV type of game that should be played in the playoffs every year. Chiefs, Bills, beautiful. You got anything else?
Yeah, I did have. I think they need to stop trying to make proposed rule changes based off of whether it benefits the Chiefs or not. So there's talks about the touchback rule if you fumble the football into the end zone. And just stop it. Like, stop it. Just because it didn't go the Chiefs' way doesn't mean we need to change a rule about it. Like, stop.
Oh man, yeah, I agree. The Chiefs are turning into like the LeBron James almost, or like the Tom Brady.
Yes.
They make rules about him. Like they make rules because of them to cater to him. Stop. But yeah, Chiefs beat Bills 27-24. Go on to play the Ravens. I think the Ravens are gonna. I don't think they're gonna smoke them. I think they're gonna beat them. And like I said, I think I'm gonna put money on the Detroit Lions. I don't know who you got in these two games, but I think those are my picks. Detroit Ravens Super Bowl, and I think the Ravens are gonna win.
Interesting. Yeah, I think. I don't know. That's tough. It's tough that Detroit has to go to San Fran, but like you said, they seem like a team of destiny. I'll call it with you.
I also don't think Brock Purdy knows how to play outside.
Oh yeah? Even though he plays in an outdoor stadium.
yeah. I still don't think he knows how to play outside. Who's your pick on the Ravens Chiefs?
It's got to be the Ravens.
Ravens. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. Let's get to some of the other NFL news. Bill Belichick had a second interview with the Falcons. If Bill Belichick goes to the fucking Falcons, I might go blow up Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Mercedes-Benz Dome. No, I don't want. Why the fuck would I want to play Bill Belichick 2 times a year every fucking year? Especially with the way the Saints are now.
Yep.
I think here's the thing.
I will say that even though they did, because I did freak out when they interviewed Bill Belichick twice, but they also did interview Ben Johnson twice and another coach twice. So Atlanta is just obsessed with interviews right now, I guess.
Okay. They
just addicted to interviews.
Yeah, they just love the interview process, which weird. I don't know anybody who loves the interview process. I don't think Bill Belichick wants to go there. As surprising as this may sound, I don't think anybody, none of the teams want him. Like, at least none of the teams with coaching vacancies want him. I don't know why, and it doesn't make any sense, but I think that, like, this is basically his only option, and that's what he's kind of leaning towards, just because he doesn't have any other options. Again, I don't know. I don't have any facts to back this up. I don't know anybody like insider information or anything like that. This is just kind of like my vibe I'm getting from it. It just doesn't seem like anybody wants Bill Belichick. So this is his only option.
I mean, he's a hard to like person, like personality type, and I don't know. He might have to like change himself a little bit. He's probably been set in his ways for quite some time. I don't know. You might be onto something there.
He's won 6 Super Bowls. Like, I get it. He had Tom Brady, but shit. Also, what the fuck is in Atlanta that he wants? They have a young team, sure, they have talent, but they don't have a fucking quarterback. Taylor Heineke, Desmond Ritter, neither one of those people can play quarterback, so he's going to have to start brand new unless they go get an old quarterback, like if they go get Joe Flacco or something like that. He's going to have to start over. He's going to I don't know what the appeal would be for him to go to Atlanta. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense.
No, it almost seems as if like the Chargers or the potentially should have been, or maybe could have been Dallas would have been better openings that maybe he was looking forward to a little bit more so.
We'll get to the Dallas Eagles. I did want to talk about Antonio Pierce to coach the Raiders. I know everybody's excited, but I want to be the first to go on record to say that I think this was a bad idea and that I don't think it's gonna work. I don't have any information to back that up. Again, I'm going strictly off vibes and the fact that most of the time those interim head coaches never pan out and work out. Rarely do they ever pan out and work out. I think this is a bad idea. I think the Raiders are going to regret it.
Interesting. Okay. I thought this was maybe a backtrack from the Rick Pisaccia.
Yeah.
Pisaccia. Yeah. Can never pronounce it right.
Me neither.
But I feel like that was a backtrack from that.
I agree.
Because the players wanted him to be the head coach. They decided to go with McDaniels. And then this time around, Antonio Pierce, I feel like they felt like they were going to lose the entire roster again. And so they decided to backtrack, kind of did Antonio Pierce, which, I mean, I'm fine with it. I guess I have to agree with you. It doesn't really intimidate me. But at the same time, I mean, he could make it work.
I don't think he will. That's just, again, nothing to back that take up. Just going purely off of vibes. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's a bad idea from the Raiders' standpoint. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's get to McCarthy, Sirianni. Both of them are staying with their respective teams. I think it's a good idea for the Eagles. I think it's a dumb idea for the Cowboys. I just don't think McCarthy doesn't have it. He doesn't have it in Dallas. I think Jerry's just keeping him around because McCarthy does whatever the fuck he says. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I know everybody likes to associate the Cowboys with the missing the playoffs, but that wasn't always McCarthy either.
Losing in the playoffs.
Losing in the playoffs.
Right.
But that wasn't always McCarthy. I mean, Tony Romo was the same way. Jason Garrett was kind of the same way when he was there. Wade Phillips, same way.
Yeah. Wade Phillips, I think, is a little different, but I don't think Jason Garrett's a good coach. Was a good coach. The Tony Romo stuff. I don't know. I don't like it. I didn't like that. The Philly fans are fucking nuts. I'm glad the administration didn't fucking listen to him this time. They wanted his head. They wanted him gone. No idea why. He literally was in the Super Bowl like one or two plays away from winning the Super Bowl last year. I understand the collapse. He had one of the worst collapses in the history of the sport, but what the fuck? You're just gonna jump ship already? I don't get it. Eagles fans are wild.
Eagle fans remind me of Alabama fans.
Yes.
Like once they get a taste of like the Super Bowl, it's like the expectation is that they should be in the championship game like every single year. And if they're not, then it's like a complete failure.
Right. That's the way Bama was before Nick Saban. They were just like, oh, we should be in the championship game every fucking year. Blah blah blah. Fuck off. I can't wait till they come down to our level. It's gonna be great. But yeah, that's
the Eagles. The Eagles did get rid of both of their coordinators,
yes,
which kind of sucks for Sirianni because I mean that's no consistency in his program. He's going to have to start fresh all over again just because Eagle fans are almost trying to ride him out, so he's back behind or pushed up against a wall.
They had to do something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's dumb. Let's see. You got anything else on the NFL? Pumped.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, pumped for the games next weekend. Let's do some NBA talk. Our Pelicans, the Pelicans are so weird, man. They'll one day they'll beat the best team in the fucking West, and then the next they'll lose. And they'll beat they beat the Timberwolves without what's his face, without Zion. I think they didn't have a full roster, but then they lost to like the Mavericks with everybody healthy. It doesn't make any sense to me. But at the same time, I'm like super fucking stoked because we can beat any team in the league. Like I really do think maybe let's just stay in the West. I'm talking about any team in the West. Like you put us up against like Denver, Timberwolves, OKC. I think in a 7-game series we can beat all of them. Like I think we can make it to the NBA Finals, and that's what is making me so fucking excited. I love it.
Yeah.
The loss to the Suns was weird. I don't know. That game was just weird all over. I'm hoping we can kind of make up for that tonight against the Utah Jazz. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, I thought we had figured out our problem and this was definitely a stat jinx, but it started coming out that basically when the Pelicans were kind of the least amount of attempted 3-point shooter team, but it was like came out that if the Pelicans shot 40 or more free throw or 3-pointers in the game, they were 4-0. And I was like, "Oh, we got to figure it out." And then boom, next game, obviously that got jinxed. We end up going 10 of 42 for 24% from the 3-point line. So I don't know, back to square one.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We do have an interesting rest of the January. Just hear me out. The next 5 games. So from now till January 31st. Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City Thunder, Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics, and then we end off the last day with the Rockets in Houston. We have a gauntlet at the end of January coming up. It is going to be wild. And honestly, if we get through all those games, I'd say 4-2. I'll be fine with it. 4-2. With Milwaukee not having a coach, I don't know. Oh, dude, it's just gonna be one game at a time. Obviously, I'm sorry. We have 5 games left. If we can get out, like, I'd say 3-2. I'd preferably 4-1. It's gonna be tough, but I think if we can get out 4-1, I'd be happy. I'd be really, really happy. Yeah, gauntlet going within the next 5 games. But dude, like I said, man, I'm pumped. I'm actually, this is the first time since Chris Paul that I've been excited because I really think we can win the West. I really truly do. Like even when we had Anthony Davis, there was a couple of years where I thought I was like, hey, we can kind of contend with anybody in the league, but this year I really, really do think we can win the West. So this is pumping me up.
Yeah. I think this year is a little bit different than what we've seen in the past years. Like we have seen some kind of star power, especially like when we had the Anthony Davis, Boogie Cousins days, and just kind of in previous years we've seen some star power on on the top of the roster, but like the back end was always just filled with a bunch of just pieces together. Whereas I think right now we're really fielding like a good, solid roster up and down that can, players off the bench can give you solid, good minutes and good scoring and defense, as well as, budding superstars in Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and then CJ McCollum's still playing at a high level too. So.
Right.
Good props.
Yeah, Herb Jones coming off the bench. Larry Nance Jr. is nasty. Like we got talent. We got guys. We got dogs. Jose Alvarado still doing his thing. The little Energizer Bunny. It's fucking awesome. And then Hawkins.
Jordan Hawkins
is coming through. I love it. Love it. Love to see it. Another great thing. I'm gonna jump to our little kind of a way too early playoff preview. Another great thing, it was the same as last year. the difference in games between the first in the Western Conference between the first place Minnesota Timberwolves and the sixth place New Orleans is 5 games. So, the difference between the first place Minnesota Wolves and the Dallas Mavericks, who is in 8th place, is 6 games. It is tight. It is pretty tight. From first to 8th is just a difference of 6 games. I love it. I think it's awesome being that close. Like having everybody in the middle there. Like now from 7 to 10, it's a 3-game span. So again, there's people can go, and then the Golden State's at 12. Anything can happen. That's what it is kind of cool to have like all these teams make the playoffs. It does kind of suck because it makes for bad first round of playoffs, but it is kind of exciting, like just to kind of follow it throughout the season. I kind of love that shit. But yeah, dude, the playoffs are looking fun. The East is a little more top heavy, but I mean, Indiana with Halliburton, that's at number 7. Orlando's kind of playing some decent ball this year. Cleveland stepped up. New York is on a tear. New York Knicks have been on a fucking tear. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're fine. Anunoby has been great. They've been playing. Dude, Jalen Brunson is like the last 2 weeks have been averaging like 35, 40 points. They're just on a fucking tear. Boston's playing like the best unit in basketball. It's gonna be fun. Embiid's playing at an MVP level. I mean, he scored fucking 62 points last night or something like that. He had
I thought it was it a 70?
I thought he
had a 70 burger.
It might be a 70 burger. I just know he put up ridiculous amount of points and they still only won by 10. Yeah, he put up 70 points. 70 points, 18 rebounds. Fucking wild. Victor Wembanyama had a good game that night too. Yeah, dude, it's just these guys are so fucking good. These guys are so goddamn good at basketball. They're just so freakishly athletic. It's so much fun. Let's see. Terry Rozier to Miami from Charlotte for Kyle Lowry and a pick, I think.
Dude, yes. So Kyle Lowry and a protected 2027 pick.
If you were keeping up, I know not a lot of people were because it's Charlotte, but when LaMelo Ball was out, Terry Rozier was averaging like 25, 30 points a game. He was dominating while LaMelo Ball was out, just putting up stats. Like they were winning games, but that's because the Hornets suck. But he himself was actually putting up fucking numbers. He was doing really well. I think it's a great addition to this already good Miami Heat team. Think about it. They were at the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And I think they've only made upgrades. Spoelstra's they put an extension on him. He's one of the best coaches in the league. I love Miami. Bam Adebayo.
Yep.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, Spoelstra is single. He's hungry right now, and basically, like you said, Terry Rozier, heck of a player, and I really think kind of fits the mold of the Heat culture as well. So it won't even be an issue there. Not an ego on him.
Yep.
So yeah, also, good trade.
Yeah. Shout out to Miami for waiting till Spoelstra's divorce was done to give him an extension.
Yep.
The real MVPs there.
The real wingman.
Yeah, right. Let's see. Last little bit of NBA information I have is Bucks fire coach Adrian Griffin. Good. He sucked.
Do you think they were regretting firing Mike Budenholzer?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know why they did that. It's like it not really doesn't really remind me of Philadelphia, but like that was kind of what they did. They just ran him out of town. And he had just won a fucking championship.
Yeah. 2 years off of a championship just because he lost the first round. Like, things happen sometimes. Like, you don't have the same team every single year, even if it is the same team every year. There's different obstacles that pop up, different adversities you got to go overcome. I just thought it was just a too quick trigger. Like, they gave into the mob. They gave into the fan mob that was just all pissed off for losing in the first round, which I know they're mad, but don't get rid of a coach that's won you a championship.
Yeah, it sucks. It's tough. But that's kind of the way it is nowadays. I hope it goes back. I hope people realize that nobody's perfect. You're gonna have a down year. You might have a down year every now and then. Not everybody's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. But did you see who's the front runner to get the job?
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers. How fucking funny would that be? Oh man. I hope that happens, and I hope they play Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Championship and beat them.
And beat him.
Yeah, that would just. Oh man, no, I'm not a big Doc Rivers fan, but I'm going for storylines here.
What coaching stint would this be for Doc Rivers at this point?
Who knows? Like, he's been on so many.
Yeah, Celtics, 76ers, Clippers. This would probably be the fourth one, huh?
Yeah, I really. Do you know who I really want them to get is Stan Van Gundy. I think. Actually, you know what? They could get both Van Gundys.
Get them both.
Yeah, just put them on
co-coaches.
Yeah, just like stack them on top of each other and put them in a trench coat, and then have them coach like that. I think that would be kind of funny. That would be great.
What kind of Space Jam shit is that?
That is Space Jam shit. I mean, it's the NBA. Why not? Good old Space Jam shit. But no, we'll see. I do think it'll be funny if Doc Rivers gets the job. I don't know. I think it'd be good. It's the NBA, and you have a superstar in Giannis, so the coach really it matters a little bit, but like at the same time, you can have a Ty Lue and still win. No offense to Ty Lue.
And the Dame.
Yep, they got the Dame. Real quick, finish up. Who's your top 3 MVPs right now?
Top 3 MVPs. I mean, I think Embiid's got to be up there again.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing some really good ball again. I think you almost kind of have to start including, almost have to maybe start including Booker into that as well.
Booker's playing well. He's hot.
Booker's playing some good ball. And then my last one, I know he's hurt. I'm expecting him for a little bit of a comeback, but give me Halliburton.
Hallie, yeah. I don't mind that. I had Halliburton if he stayed healthy. But Embiid number 1, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, bro. He's playing fucking real. And then obviously Jokic is got to be in the conversation. I think one person, I don't think he's not going to be in the conversation. But he's not putting up like crazy stats, but someone that's really fun to watch that I would love if he got into the conversation would be Trae Young. If you watch him play, that man is an assist machine, dude. And when he gets going, his shot is pretty. It is so much fun to watch him play. He again, I don't think he's going to put up numbers. I don't think the Atlanta Hawks are going to be that good in order for him to get in the MVP conversation. But I think he might, like, I don't know. I really do think that he should be up there. Just saying. So yeah, those are my MVPs. You got anything else?
I think that's about it.
Alrighty. Apologies to everyone listening. We are going through a Zoom. Well, I guess it's not Zoom. It's called Riverside. But we are on our computers because Joe is on a work trip. So apologies for that. Next week we will both be in the studio and recording. Anything else, Joe?
I think that's about it.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Later.